Yo, yo, yo. What is going on, everybody? Hope everybody is having a fantastic Monday, May 27th. It's Memorial Day. I think US only is Memorial Day. But yeah, hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're going to be talking about how I like to make variations of my winning ads for my dropshipping e-commerce brand, if you will. What we're going to be doing is creating some variations live. So that's what you guys can be expecting in this video. We're going to identify a winning ad, and then we're going to be taking that winning ad and breaking it down, kind of going through a list that I like to go through for analyzing. And then we're just going to be recreating that and creating some variations based off of that. So that's what you guys can be expecting in this call here today. Before we get started, I just want to do a really quick mic check, make sure everything is working and that you guys can hear me well. So if you guys can hear me, just drop a fire emoji inside of the chat, and that will let me know that you're hearing me nice and loud and clear, and then we can get started. So while you guys do that, I'm gonna start pulling up my ad account here, and we're gonna take a look at a winning piece of content that we're going to be recreating. Sweet. So I see one fire emoji in there, so I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Awesome. Let's get started. So first and foremost, whenever you guys have a winning ad, what does a winning ad look like? That's probably the very first question, very first step you're going to take when you're trying to actually make variations of a winning ad, correct? So this ad here that I'm going to share with you guys, I actually just re-ran this ad. This is an ad that we scaled very heavily during Q4 of last year. I shared this before with the YouTube channel, and I'll share it again here today. What I went ahead and done is I reran this ad the last 7 days, exact same piece of content. Same winning piece of content, reran it, and it does have some pretty gnarly good performance. We're sitting at just under a 3 ROAS with it. 7 purchases, $34 CPAs. That's really great for our brand. If we take a look back at November, December of this last year, what you guys will notice is this is the #1 spent piece of content. Like, this is where we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this ad, right? And this is called Melt One. That's the ad name that's just what we called it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, you can see this is what had the most amount of spend on it. This particular ad setting campaign, it spent $40,000. And again, I retested it. It's getting good performance. What does that mean? That means that it has potential to do more. And I think that we can take this exact creative and do some stuff with it. So before we go further, I do want to play this creative just so everybody can hear it and see it. And then we're going to go kind of down the rabbit hole of creating variations of this piece of content. Very, very simple piece of content, very quick, literally 12 seconds long, right? And I want to start off by talking about the very first step that you guys want to do when creating variations off of your winning ads. And the very first step here is going to be to analyze your piece of content to identify what is working. That is the most important thing, because we're going to be identifying these variables, and then we're going to be essentially recreating these variables, mixing and matching them in different ways. So with that said, let's get started in analyzing this. And I'm going to take out a notepad, and we're going to be breaking this down on a notepad here. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm just going to go ahead and whip up a Google Doc. I'm just going to go docs.google.com, and we're just going to go ahead, whip up a blank document. And in this blank document, we're going to call this, Melt One Analysis, right? And this is how I would recommend you guys all approach analyzing a piece of content. Have a document like this, open it up, and then we're gonna start analyzing this content right here. So I'm gonna move this. Let's see if I can actually have both of these on the same screen. I think that would be beneficial for you guys to see side by side. So let's go ahead, do this, and then we can do this. Perfect. So let's start off by taking a look at the very first few frames, right? What do we all notice in these very first few frames? Well, we have this copy that says, I would melt for this necklace. I like to jot down all of the variables that I see in this winning piece of content. And we're gonna start off by marking that variable down and just writing it down. You can see I would melt for this necklace, right? And we have this little emoji at the end of it that we're gonna add as well. And we're gonna just go ahead and at the very top, we're gonna say text variables, right? So this piece of text right here, this is a variable, right? Okay. And we have another piece of text that's gonna be at the very end of it. You're gonna see it says get yours today. Guess what that is? That's another variable. So we're gonna write that variable down, get yours today. And we're gonna put a little gift emoji and we're gonna put a heart emoji. So this piece of content, this winning ad right here has what? 2 winning text variables that are pretty obvious, for anybody analyzing this. What else do we have? Well, let's break it down now by shot variables. So what do we have? We have a shot that within the first couple of seconds so we showcase the box, right? Okay. Box showcase. Okay. What else do we have? We have immediate. So within the first 3 seconds, what do we have? First 3 seconds, product showcase. Right? And all I'm doing here, guys, is just going frame by frame and identifying, I'm breaking this ad down. That's what I'm doing. And this is what I would recommend you guys do when you're first starting off to create variations of a winning piece of content. Take the first winner, break it down. Identify every single variable that exists on it. So we have first 3 seconds product showcase. And then we have another box showcase, okay? Another box showcase. Great. And then we have another product showcase. Another product showcase. This is a different variable, different variant. So this is a different color, right? We're showcasing here a silver variant. And beginning, we showed a gold variant. And then we have another pan shot of product showcase. And then we have a zoomed up product showcase. Perfect. So what we just did here is we went through the entire ad and we identified what are the variables that are on the screen, right? We have this copy here, I would melt for this necklace. We have the copy at the very end that says get yours today. We have the shot variables where we start off with a box showcase. We then transition within the first 3 seconds to a product showcase. Then we do another box showcase, then another product showcase, then another pan of a product showcase, and then a zoom up of a product showcase. So if I were to kind of summarize what winning variables we see in this piece of content, I would like to summarize it with this is a very straightforward product showcase ad. And again, this is very specific to the ad that I am analyzing. It's going to potentially be different for you. But for my product and my brand, I can see that we're showing the product and making it very clear to the audience on what the product is. Additionally, I would like to note that we have another variable here. Sound, we have sound variables. And these sound variables are going to be based on the music. So we have a sad music that's being played. And then we have the call to action at the very end that's saying the call to action is using a TikTok text to speech voice that is saying the get yours today. Right? So this is essentially all of the variables that exist within this piece of content. And what we're going to do now is transition. We're going to transition to what can we do with these variables and how can we create now variations utilizing these variables. And I want everybody to pay attention to this next part, as it's very important. Shot variables, all these shot variables can be refreshed with new shots. What does that mean? That means this box showcase, I could do another one, exact same style of content, but I could go outside and shoot it. The first 3 seconds showing the product, I could show the product, but I could do it in a different way. You guys following? Showcasing a zoom up of the product, I could go to a completely different location and I'll shoot another exact same piece of footage, but with a different background. And now I could take all those new shots and I could apply them to this exact same piece of content, and I could successfully create a variation that has a very high high chance of success. This can also happen with the text variables. This can also happen with these variables down here. So the way that I approach creating variations is by identifying what I like to call winning variables, right? And this is something I would say everybody should write down, winning variables, right? And what you want to ask yourself as you analyze your winning content is, what are your winning variables? And as you identify what your winning variables are, you're going to be able to take those winning variables and mix and match them like a puzzle. And when you mix and match them like a puzzle, you will be able to identify other variations of your winning piece of content that have a high chance of performing. Right? So let's do that. So what I'm going to be doing here is we're going to go ahead and pull up some new content that we've been having come in. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this content folder here. And let's see if we can get some, let's see what we have, right? So we actually just got a bunch of new content in, and I'm going to be taking a look and seeing if I can identify some content that we can use. So this is the keychain. I want to use one for the pet face necklace. Let's see. Necklace shots. Okay. So let's take a look at some of this footage. This is a nice little box opening, right? Shows the product in there. Good lighting. That's a good shot right there that we could use. Another one, exactly the same thing. Opening the box, kind of touching it a little bit. I actually really like this one here, how she grabs the pendant a little bit. This one here, she has it on her hand. She's kind of just doing some aesthetic pans with it. I love that she has her cat in the back here. Okay. See this shot here. Okay, another one where she opens the box. And then we have another one here that's just kind of like an aesthetic, picking up, showing it in her palm. Perfect. So these are some pretty good pieces of content. She also got us some content of her layering the necklace. So I think this is going to be a great creator and some great footage to use to repurpose. From what I just saw, I have seen variables, shots, sorry, in both of these folders that we just looked at from this creator, Anna, that can fit into all these shot variables here, right? We had a box showcase that we just saw. We saw, directly the product. We saw more of the box. We saw some stuff with her cat. And one point I want to make here is identifying now what the very important variables are is going to be what's going to be the most important to keep the same. So for example, box showcase here, I think I want to keep it at the beginning where we show the box. And then I want to keep it within the first 3 seconds that we have the product showcase. Now, showing another box shot here, I think we already showed the box. So I think this is a variable that we can alter with potentially showing a creator's cat, right? And this would be something that you can identify another shot that could fit in here that's not going to ruin, if you will, the rhythm of the piece of content, but could emphasize it more. So here, another box showcase, I'm just going to say potentially showing cat, question mark. Another product showcase, different variant. I think this is going to be good to keep the same. Another pan of the product showcase, right? So all these, I think we can keep the same. So essentially we can take this new footage that we have received and we can take that new footage and recreate this piece of content here, utilizing a similar placement of shots that are new footage, allowing the content to essentially be revived, allowing for ideally all the variables to stay the same. So I'm going to now go ahead and whip up Premiere Pro. This is what I like to edit. I know a lot of people use CapCut. So if you guys would like me to do one of these with CapCut as well, I can. Just let me know in the comments, and that's something I could potentially do. But for today, I'm going to use Premiere Pro. I'm more comfortable and a bit quicker with utilizing it. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and name this project 2024 for the year 2024. And I'm going to say 05 because we're in the month of May. And then we're going to say Melt 1 Recreation 1, right? So pretty straightforward. We're going to go ahead and select a folder that I want to work out of. I'm going to go ahead and go over to my shared drive, marketing. We're going to hop into the Creative Hub. We're going to go to source files, and then we're going to drop it into the 2024 content and scripts. We're going to go into the May 2024. And then we're going to go ahead. Let me just make sure this is where I want it. Source files, 24 content and scripts, May 2024. And then we're just going to go ahead here and type in the same thing, 2405, melt 1. And then we're going to say recreation 1. I'm just going to say recreations in case I want to have multiple versions. So I'm just going to leave that open-ended. We're going to hit create. We're going to hit choose. And then we're going to go over here and we're going to type in the exact same name, 2405, melt 1, recreation 1. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, which is slightly a cheat code, if you will, or cutting a little bit of a corner here, is I'm going to take the original melt 1, which I can pull by just searching it up in my search here. So this here is the original melt 1, and I'm going to actually take this and drop it directly into my project. And this is something I would recommend everybody to do, because what this will let you do is kind of see visually what's happening on the winning piece of content, and then you can essentially recreate on top of it. I like this approach. It's worked well for me. So that's how I'm going to teach it, if you will. Also, side note, the music that is in here, I do believe is copyrighted on YouTube. So I'm probably not going to be playing the music. just for the sake of streaming this to YouTube. But essentially, you guys, I do believe, heard it at the beginning of the video. You can rewind back and hear that. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute the music. At the very end here, there is a snippet that I'll play right now where you'll hear the TikTok text-to-speech that says, "Get yours today." Right? So that "get yours today" is something I am going to keep as a winning variable. And that's actually the very first thing I'm going to knock out here, is recreating this "get yours today." Super simple to recreate. I'm using this TikTok text bubble thing, if I can find it. Here we go. So I'm going to use this TikTok caption. Oops. I'm going to use this TikTok caption. Come on. Where'd it go now? It doesn't like me. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to use this TikTok caption. If you go to Google and you type in TikTok caption Premiere Pro, I'm sure you can find this exact same one. And I can, for the sake of everybody, try to find this later and link it. But what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and directly recreate this. We're going to say "get yours today." And then I'm going to put a few spaces here just so we can drop in those same emojis. I'm going to go ahead and make that the same size. We're going to go ahead, kind of put it right there next to this one. I'm going to add a few more spaces, make it a little bit smaller, and it doesn't need to be perfect, you know, but I like to create them as close as I can. I'm going to now go over to my clip art section. This is a folder that I've created, a little cheat sheet for everybody. If you create a folder with emojis, you can then just drag and drop them whenever you want to work with a certain emoji. In CapCut, I believe you can actually just type in the emoji or copy and paste it. But in Premiere Pro, we don't have that luxury here. Maybe there is a quicker way to do this. This has just been my approach over the years. So I'm gonna also go ahead and grab now this gift emoji that I'm sure you guys already saw and I'm just missing. And then we're just gonna go ahead and grab these and put these over where we're working. Grab this heart emoji, put it here. Right. So again, the reason I'm doing this, and I want to make sure that this is very clear to everybody, is I am keeping this variable the same. When you have variables that work, ideally you want to keep as many working variables the same as you can, and you want to change the ones that are actually going to make a difference to whether the viewer is going to continue watching the video or scrolling. Right? What makes that difference? Shot fatigue. If you use the exact same shot over and over and over and over and over, that person is going to develop literally their fingers are going to develop like a muscle reaction to where they're just going to keep scrolling when they see the shot, right? So ideally you want to replace shots, hook shots very specifically, and other variables that are winning variables. By keeping the same, you just increase the chance of that new creative now performing. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, somebody let me know and I can try to re-explain it, but I hope that makes sense. So that's what we're doing here. So let's go ahead and take this heart now. We're gonna do the exact same thing by taking now these captions and just bringing it down. So I'm gonna go ahead, grab the text. We're gonna go ahead and put it over the old one. I'm now going to go ahead, zoom up a little bit, go down. We're going to grab that gift box. And if I want to see where that previous gift box was placed, I can kind of just remove it here. So you can see we first have the gift box, then we have the heart. And I actually do want to have a little bit more room here. So I'm going to go ahead, add a few more spaces. And then we can grab that gift box. We can go ahead now, just place that gift box here, bring that scale down a little bit, maybe a 7. And then we can go here, and then we can go to the right, and then we can go grab that heart, do the exact same thing, bring that heart down, bring the size down, move it over to the right, move it down a little bit. So this is kind of roughly how it's going to look, and I'm going to go ahead, take maybe 2 steps back here, add a few spaces, boom. Okay. Cool. And then I'm gonna go ahead and grab that heart just kind of to cover this. We're just gonna go ahead and move that a little bit more to the right. Grab our gift box, move it a little bit more to the right, make the gift box a little bit bigger. And I think that's pretty good, right? I think anybody can say that's pretty good. So essentially we just put this over the old piece of content here. And now we're going to continue to build on top of that. We only want this to actually play when we have it, when we have the text and the text of text to speech say, get yours today. Get yours today. Right. So right during that period there is when we want it to actually show. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit the C on Premiere Pro. If you hit C, you enable the cut option. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that to exactly where I want it. And we're just going to go ahead and now delete it before. And now you can see, right, we have it pop up during that period. So that's perfect. We're going to now go ahead and grab the footage that we want to bring in. As we previously mentioned, we're going to be using some UGC content that we got from this creator, Anna. So I'm going to just go ahead and grab all of these shots. I'm going to drag all the shots inside of Premiere. We're going to go over back to the layering, and I'm going to just go ahead and grab, again, all of these shots here, just because the more I have to work with, the more I can play around with, and the more I can ideally come up with a really, really good variation of this piece of content, right? So we're going to go ahead and drag that in here as well. And what I'll do is if you guys have questions, you can stay till the end of the live and I'll run through a few questions. I do have a pretty hard stop here in about 50 minutes, but I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get through this edit as well as some questions in the next 50 minutes or so. Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and full screen this. I'm going to go ahead and mute the sound just so it's not playing every time we're running something. And I'm going to go hit save. One of the biggest things, don't forget to save. Oftentimes, if you don't save and you don't have autosave on, you can crash and lose your work, and that's no fun. Perfect. So let's go ahead and now hop in and recreate this variable here. One thing I want to mention before we go further, what is this? Right? I want somebody to in the comments, what is this here? What variable is this? I want somebody in the chat to tell me, what is this variable here? Is this a winning variable? Is this not a winning variable? Does this matter? Okay, it's a hook. DEC said it's a hook, correct. I'll jump to it. It's a winning variable, right? We made note of this winning variable up here. And what I want to get to, the point I want to make here, is this winning variable here. This is one we know works for sure. But I also have other ones that I can pull off the top of my head that I've tested historically that I also know work. So one variation I could do after I kind of throw this all together and make a pretty fire piece of content is going to be using other text variables that I know work as text copy that do the same thing by bringing out the emotion of this video. And this point that I'm making here will directly tie to how your video speaks, right? This copy here, I would melt for this necklace. What does it do? It hits you in the face with emotion, right? I'll say it again. It hits you in the face with emotion. So what I can do is if I can write now strategically more copy that does what? Brings out emotion. I can now test other text copy in the hook, right? That can bring out emotion. So if you identify what your text does, what is it actually doing, right? If you can identify what it's actually doing, then you can replicate those variables by creating more of them. And if you want to know how to do that, you can go watch the video we did on script writing that goes in a little bit more depth on that. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there because that's super important. This copy here, I'm going to make two variations of it. You guys will see one of them is going to be exactly this one here, and then another one is going to be another one that does the same thing and brings out the emotions. Everybody following? I hope so. So let's go ahead and now recreate this one. Super simple. We're going to go ahead and grab a text here. I'm going to show you guys how to recreate this TikTok style text. You're going to want to download the font called Proxima. And I either go between regular, medium, or semi-bold. I usually don't go all the way bold. We're just going to go with medium, and I'm just going to retype this. I would melt for this necklace. And then we're going to go ahead and center that. Make the text a little bit smaller. We're going to hit this stroke option here, run that stroke all the way to black, and you can see it's already pretty darn similar. Next, I'm just going to go ahead, probably hit that to about 5, and then we're going to go ahead and grab that text, move it around here, and shrink it yay-ish. Yeah, right around there. And then I'm going to add a few spaces so we can highlight our emoji here as well. Same thing as we did before with the emoji. We're going to go ahead and grab the emoji that we want to add. It's going to be this slightly crying emoji here. I found this emoji does well emphasizing emotion. We're going to go ahead and drop that in, and then we're going to go ahead and drop it on our canvas, if you will. And then same thing, just kind of position it where we want it to be positioned. You can see it's going to be right around there. And then I'm going to go ahead and essentially put this directly over this placement. So we're going to go ahead and grab this, put it right there. And then we're going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to put it right there. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, why am I doing this right now? Well, it's going to make my life significantly easier and more enjoyable because I won't have to then do it when I'm putting in the shots. So let's go ahead and select everything that we just have done. I'm going to hold Shift and click on all of these layers now, and I'm going to drag them up maybe, I don't know, 3-4 layers high so I can put my shots underneath those. You see how I'm stacking them? So that's how I'm going to approach it. Yeah, that's Ace Patel in the comments just said, my boyfriend's girlfriend just got me this. That's actually a great hook. That's a fantastic hook. I'm actually down to test that. But sweet, let's first build out this ad. So we had that going. Let's go ahead and get our first shot in here and decide which shot we want to use. I'm going to go ahead, pull up some shots up here on the left side. And then we're going to take a look to see if we can identify which one is going to be good for this first placement. Let's do it. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this all the way here. And then we're going to, let's see. So we have this shot here, which does achieve kind of showing the box and then opening and showcasing the pendants. I think there was one right after this that does the same thing where we open up the box. And then I believe okay, so it's a different one then. There was one where she like touches the pendants a little bit, and I like that one the best. Let me see if I can find that one. Why am I putting the text over the same text? You're about to see. So this one here, we open it, showcase it, and then she kind of grabs it. I like this one the best, so I'm going to use this one. So here's why I put text over the previous text. When I grab this shot and I put it in here, you're going to see it's going to kind of remove that underlayer here. So I'm going to go ahead now, grab our effects. We're going to grab the scale, and we're going to scale this puppy down, right? So I'm going to move it just so we have our box kind of centered right underneath the text here. And we're going to see how that looks. So we have, I would melt for this necklace, and we kind of open that up right at the beginning there. Great. And I think that we can... Sweet. So I do like how that looks. I think this does look good. I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at what other shots we have. One of the best things that you guys should do, one of the primary things you guys should do is try to find out, does the shot that you're using, does it truly emphasize what you're trying to achieve? as we all know, you know, this shot here, this lasts for a couple of seconds. We showcase the box and we showcase the pendant, and that kind of ends right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a cut here, so I know visually that right around here I want to change the scene. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a look, see if there's any other footage that I think would work better. And you don't have to particularly overthink this. I just do like to give my creatives the best chance of performance. So this one here, it's kind of hard to see the pendant. This one here, you can actually see the pendants a little bit better. Let's see, what other shots do we want to work with? Let's see this. Okay. Okay. Okay, I do like how this one here, she like goes to put it on. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult to see here, but I do like how she goes to put the necklace on. So that might be something that I might use here shortly. This is another one where she's just putting it on. This is one where the necklace is on. This is the one where the necklace is on as well. I think this one is potentially one we might use. Okay, this is another one that might be potentially used. Okay. And all I'm doing here, guys, is just going through the footage to identify what are some potential candidates to use in this piece of content as we go forward with it. I like how this one, she pulls the pendants up. Let's see. Okay. This one looks super aesthetic. I like this one probably the best out of these, just how she has it layered a little bit. This could be something we use towards the end. I'm gonna actually drag this one onto my canvas. Cool. This is another one I believe I want to use. This is another one we might potentially use. You can see I'm literally just dragging these onto the canvas, and I'm gonna like play around, cut them up a little bit later. Sweet. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead, run this back from the top. Let's see how this looks. We have, I would melt for this necklace, we have the box open up. And then as soon as the box opens up, I want right around here to like transition to the next shot that we're gonna have with this. And I do also want to keep this shot here. So we're gonna go ahead, cut that up. So in this one here, we showcased like the box here, and then we transitioned to another one of it being opened. I'm gonna just make a cut here so I know how the old one was approached. So we had it, we had a product showcase here on the side, and then we had a cut here to where it went another product showcase, and then here we had like the close-up one. So the close-up one was kind of right along with our get yours today text. Okay, let's see now which of these pieces of footage we want to use next. So I'm just going to scrub through these. So I like how this one actually has the cats walking in the background. I think that's a way we can emphasize what the product is. And I'm gonna just kind of go through a few of these, see which one is the best. I think both of these have a cat walk behind. Yeah, you can see that there. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so it's a little bit difficult to see there. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Okay, yeah, I like how this is then I really like this shot here. Let's go ahead, play this through, see how this looks. Okay, I like how she runs her hand down there. Okay, so I like literally this frame from this frame here. So I would melt for this necklace, opens it up, and then we have like this rundown. And then we could do one where it shows, so you can see this is another one where we do a product showcase kind of in the box, if you will. And that's what my mind is now going over to this guy here. So I hope you guys can see how I'm like puzzle piecing this together with new footage. I'm keeping essentially this, I'm keeping some of these core winning variables. And I hope that's really clear. We have this core winning variable here. We have at the very end this core winning variable here. We're keeping the same music and we're keeping the same the text voiceovers, but we're essentially refreshing completely the footage that is being used here. So we have the box open. We have the necklace on her. We show now a nice up close of it. Okay, cool. So then we're going to just directly transition out of that. So this one's another product showcase. Let's see if we can get something that, let's see, this one here has the cat in the back. There was one I know had, let's see. Okay, let's see this one here potentially. So we have the box opening, we have her wearing it. I'm gonna see if I can actually just scale this up a little bit, move this down a little bit. Super aesthetic, showing the product in a very clear way. Then we have her moving it. Yep, then we have the cats being shown, and then we can have a close-up that's saying get yours today. Let's see what else we have here to utilize the footage. This is potentially another piece of footage that we can play around with. I do love this this footage of her wearing the necklace here. I think this could be a great one to use at the end as well. I think this here is done with. I think this here is done with. One other thing we could do is see this creator here that we just utilized. She has done some shots for us in the past. And we can go and see, is there any other footage that she's created for us that we can potentially use? That's another thing I love doing. Just exploring what are the options of footage that you guys have. And this is, I think, a great point here is this is why it's super important to just source as much content as you can yourself. It's much more difficult to do this with, oh, I love this shot here. Look at that shot. Okay, yeah, we're using this. And I like some of these other shot placements as well. I'm gonna go ahead and do something here. This is, I'll try to explain my thoughts here. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna make a duplication of this edit. And I'm gonna do this before I finish editing it because I want some of this footage that I have in my work area to still stay there because I wanna do some, I wanna play around with it more in a different variation, right? So this is how I approach variation creation in a way where I will create multiple variations and my goal is always going to be how can I make it better? So my logic when I approach this is, okay, well, we're just finalizing this very first variation of this piece of content, but how can the next one be better, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and name this, let's go ahead and melt 1, and this is the recreation 1, and then we're gonna go ahead and I'm just copy paste, and this is gonna be recreation 2. So you can see I just made a copy of it, and this copy I'm gonna do stuff a little bit differently with, but let's finish. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's finish this first one here. Okay, cool. So I wanted to use this piece right here. I love how she showcases the necklace. Yeah, I love how she showcases the necklace here. So let's go ahead, drag this into here. Perfect. And I'll go ahead and play this. It might be muted on YouTube on the replay, but I'll go ahead and just play this so everybody can see what the final version of this very first variation looks like. And then we're going to talk about how exactly I want to just recap how I approached it and why I approached it in this way. So you can see how I approached it here is a little bit differently than how the original piece of content was created. And I want to tell you guys why. I think that's important. So the original piece of content was very much from a perspective of white gloves, same environment, showing the product. All right, let's say that again. White gloves, same environment, showing the product is what this initial variation was. Exact same music that you just heard. Again, I don't want to just play it for the YouTube copyright reasons. The placements that we have here, showcasing the product with the different variations, showcasing a different one here. I think it's great, right? But what I want to test, and the reason I'm approaching this piece of content this way, this recreation this way, is I want to hit it from a different angle. I want to hit it from a creator's perspective. That's something we've been recently testing more and more of, which is creating content from the creator's perspective to see if that can emphasize the performance more. So that is why I have in this piece of content a creator that is, I'm using all creator shots. We have her opening it. We have right after her opening it, her wearing it. We have right after her wearing it, her showing it in the box again. Then we have her like moving it in her hand. Then we have her showcasing both of them and wearing it at the end. And this is V1, right? This is V1 of this recreation. Let's do another one, right? So that's why I duplicated this, because I had some footage in here that I wanted to use. So let's go ahead and we're gonna, for this recreation here, we're gonna actually use some footage that has her cats in it. So check this out. We have a bunch of footage here that actually has her cats also. And I think that could be great to emphasize, to tie it, all of the above. So the very first one that stands out to me is this sequence here where we have her like holding it next to her cat, and then her cat like next to her. And I'm gonna go ahead and chop that sequence up. And then we're gonna go ahead and use that in this second variation. And one emphasis I wanna make here, when you create multiple variations, ask yourself, how can I make this next variation better than the one that I just did? That's a great, in my opinion, question to ask yourself as you make more and more variations, as it's going to allow you to start critically thinking a little bit more. And you're going to start asking yourself, okay, well, what are my historical winning variables that I can use to make even a better version now? And that's kind of the path that I go down, and I recommend people to go down when making variations. Sweet. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and just play this from the beginning here. So we have the box opening, and what I want to do here is I'm gonna approach this again a little bit differently because this is a new version. I want to, as soon as the box opens, like right here, I want to make a cut that's a little bit sooner, right? And I want to take now this footage here where we have the cat. And I want to, let's see how long that is. So it's her with the cat, her with the cat. I think these two are great. I want to use this footage. And I want us to go directly from opening this box now. Similar hook. But now I want it to go directly to this shot here. I want to see if tying it with this cat adds for a more emphasis. And then we have her wearing it. I do like that shot. I do like that shot as well. And then we have this Get Yours Today one. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove these shots, and we're going to see what else we have. So one thing I want to do for this second variation here, and what you'll notice I'm going to do before I even finish this variation, is I'm going to copy paste it. We're going to make a third variation. Again, to save this work here. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove, let's see. So we have, let's play it. We have box that gets opened, immediately switches to her cat, immediately showcases. Okay, so this right here, I actually want to zoom it up. So this one right here, let's go ahead, select that. Let's go ahead and make that bigger. Yeah, perfect. And then for this Get Yours Today, I'm going to test, keyword test. I'm going to test getting rid of all of this here, and specifically utilizing the old call to action with the old shot placements. And I want to do this because I want to see if by me showcasing a different variation of the product which shows dogs on it, if that will make the creative potentially perform better. And I will be testing all of these, just for additional context, in the same ad set. I will be testing these against each other to see which one of these ideally is going to perform the best. So we're going to go ahead, and right when we switch to the Get Yours Today, I'm just going to use the OG one, if you will. We're just going to go ahead, pull back here. Yeah. So it's the exact same thing, just showcasing a different variation of our product. So again, what are we doing here? Well, we're keeping the same hook, right? So essentially between this guy here and this guy here, we're keeping the same hook. We're keeping a hook that we know what works. Why do we know it works? Because we made notes about it, and we know that doing a product showcase and showing the product within the first 3 seconds works. So again, everybody who's been here this entire time, is it starting to click? Identify what the winning variables are. Then start recreating those winning variables in different ways, different shop placements, right? Then we'll go, and this is a conversation that could last a couple of hours, but testing different text copies. But we're using a winning style already that we know works, opening the box up, showcasing the product immediately. I'm taking a little bit of a different approach here, where I'm showcasing now the animal, but I'm doing this with intent. I'm doing this with intent because I want to see, does showcasing this animal to it directly tie more with my target demographic here. We have now her wearing it, showcasing it again, and then we have the Get Yours Today. So this second variation here, in my opinion, is good to go. And we had the very first variation that's good to go. And let's hop into this this third variation. And for this third variation, we're gonna do something a little bit differently, right? We're going to, and this is now going to be a lesson for one of the most OP ways of variation testing. And that is to not just use winning variables that you know from your original piece of content, but to use winning variables that you've gathered data on historically. Following? So gather data on historically all your other ads that you might have tested, that you might have identified winning variables on, taking some of those winning variables and kind of blending it, mixing and matching those winning variables. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to take a hook that I know works, which is a reaction that we have from this one lady. And I feel like this is going to be the one that hogs all my spend, but that's okay. So this reaction right here, and it's like, it doesn't really do anything. If you guys notice that, like she kind of just opens it and looks at it, and you can see she's thinking about it, right? So that is what I'm going to use now in place of the hook. To see how that performs. So we're going to go ahead, drop that in here. And then again, on this third variation, that's what we're going to be testing. We're going to go ahead and grab that. We're going to go ahead, move that up here. We're going to go ahead and blow that up. And it's going to say I would melt for this necklace. And one thing I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to go ahead and move this copy. I'm going to move this copy down. And I'm going to move, we're going to see. I might move the emoji down as well. But let's play around with it. Let's see how this looks. So it's going to say, I would melt for this necklace. She's going to open it. And then we're going to go ahead and switch here to So I like the shot sequence, but I do want to add more to it. And this is, again, this is my mindset approach of how can I make this better? And this is how I do it. I ask myself always, next variation that I do, how can I make it better? And the reason I'm bringing in an external variable, if you will, is because I know this shot here, I know it hooks people. I know that if I go to my Facebook ads, and if I take a look at, you know, the campaigns we ran, and if I take a look at like the, you know, if we take a look at March, April, and I take a look at what we spent the most amount of money on, and then I take a look at March, and then I sort by amount spend, I know that the ad that got the most amount of spend has a hook that starts with this chick, right? So what am I doing here? I'm taking a winning variable from a different piece of content, and I'm blending it in with the variations we're creating of this winning piece of content. I really hope that makes sense. This is also another winning piece of copy that we could test with all the other variations that we're doing. So again, this is primarily for context for everybody. Let's go ahead and play this through. So we're going to start off with I would melt for this necklace, and then it's immediately going to switch to, I actually want this to switch to the product being shown in the box. And I think that that's, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. So it kind of opens it up. And I'm debating here if I want to use this shot or if I want to go a step further and use some other shots that are going to be more dog focused. You know, our primary demographic is dogs, and then these two variations I previously created, I did cats. So a great thing to do would be to create a variation to see, you know, what's going to win. Let's go ahead and hop into Creative Hub. Source files, content, and I'm gonna see if let's go ahead and just grab a shot that I know works. We're gonna go into the Valentine's Day folder here, and we're just gonna grab a shot that I know has historically performed. I'm just taking a look here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and take this shot here. Drop it in here. Drag this guy out here. And I'm going to use this shot here, which is a super close-up shot showcasing the necklace. Super detailed as well. And I want to use that as what we transition to next. Let's go ahead, grab this, make it a little bit bigger. Perfect. So we kind of pan it, and then let's go ahead see what we're working with down here. So I think panning. I think the pan should start from here. It should be like this section, right? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna grab that, make it pan from here to here. Yep. Okay, and I think this could actually, we could do this, and then we could cut it right around here. Let's see what else we have. And then I like the idea of also keeping this shot. I love how aesthetic this shot is. And then I do want to, let's see what else we have footage wise. Let's see this one up here. I'm going to use this shot here that kind of shows the necklace, you know, on the creator. Yeah, like this right here. I think that's a genuine piece of footage that we can use. So now we have a winning hook with winning copy that transitions into a close-up of the product, that transitions to box, that transitions to somebody wearing it, that transitions to showing it, and then we have the get yours today that pops up. We can actually shorten this a little bit, and then we can go ahead and grab the footage that we want to use for that. Perfect. And I'm gonna just go ahead and cut this a little bit. And I like at the end where she like smiles. I think that's a great tie, right? Like if you have people smiling in your creatives, kind of makes them perform better. It means that the product's good. You know, it brings that emotion. Yeah, beautiful. Cool. And then we're going to just go ahead, skim through this. All of this now can get yeeted out. Well, I'm going to, as you guys know, I'm going to go ahead, copy paste that. And I'm going to just mark this as version 4, but we're not actually going to play around with that right now. Cool. So let's go ahead, play this back. Right? So is it starting to get your guys' juices flowing on how I approach these? It's really, really about putting together a new piece of content using variables that you know work, and then trying to make it better. Asking yourself what can make it better. I know that by adding this hook here that I am immediately going to go from a 20% hook rate to a 40% hook rate. I know that because I've been testing and testing and testing. As you guys test more, you are going to find more hooks that work. You're going to find more pieces of content, more copy, more voiceovers, more call to actions that you know work. And as you start to index these, you can start to take these and mix and match them together. That is how I approach recreating content. All right, I'm gonna knock out the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna knock out some of these questions, and then we're gonna go ahead and call this good. Sweet, let's do it. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll knock these through. I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top, and then we'll just go through these, and then we'll call this good. But I hope this has been super beneficial for everybody here. So let's go ahead and see what we have going on. TikTok type videos does work on Facebook. Yes, TikTok style videos work everywhere, dude. Especially this day and age where it's just so it feels creator focused, feels genuine. That's where all the creators are on TikTok, or a lot of them are. Works really well on Facebook Reels, works really well on Instagram Reels, works really well across the board, I've seen. Adobe, that student discount, y'all. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have a student card, you know, if you're a student, you can get the Adobe discount. Works well. What AI do you use? Can you recommend some of these? Of course I can. The AIs that I would recommend using, 11 Labs is fantastic for any type of voice cloning. Yeah, fantastic for any type of voice cloning. and just AI usage in general. I also use pretty heavily the TikTok text to speech that is located on what's up YouTube, and then female generate.
What's up, YouTube?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty straightforward there. Sweet. Let's take a look at what else we got here. Hopefully that answers your questions on what AIs I use. Um, I don't know how I feel about this being free for everyone to see. Well, hey, I mean, so somebody has to drop some actual value on here. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see what else we have. Do you outsource any of your creative making? That is a great question. Let me just make sure that I think we're glitching up a little bit here. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys can still hear me well. Yeah, hopefully this is still working well. YouTube was saying that it was glitching up. All right. Yeah, so we do outsource. So in terms of outsourcing any of our creative making, we do all of our editing in-house. So all of our editing is done in-house. You know, I am editing here today. I don't typically edit. We have a team of editors that edits. So all of our creatives are typically done in-house. The stuff that we outsource is UGC. Yeah, user-generated content we outsource, and we also have in-house 3D designers that we utilize. So a lot of stuff that we do is in-house. What is the name of the theme that you're using on your store? Because I can't find it. It's very organized. It's called Motion. We use the Motion theme. Do you horizontally scale via duplicating the same ad set, or do you vertically scale by increasing the ad spend? I horizontally scale by creating more ads. And then once I have enough ads that I want to vertically scale, I increase the budget on them. Has Facebook picture ads worked for you? Yes. You use this time a copyright background music. What is talked last time? So would you not get it? It depends. So the reason I didn't really play the music a lot in this live is because YouTube will flag it, this specific song, but we have used this specific song on Facebook ads without any issues. Ideally, you don't want to use copyrighted music, ideally. How much creatives in a group on Meta? 3 to 5. I typically, test 3 to 5 creatives inside of an ad set. Do you recommend me to use an urgency timer in my cart, like your items are reserved for 10 minutes? It can definitely increase the urgency, but you have to be careful, as it can also increase your store looking spammy. I would recommend simply testing it and seeing what works best. If it increases your conversion rate, then I would keep it on. If it's obviously not benefiting your conversion rate, I probably wouldn't have it on there. Jay, you are late. We're just closing up, but if you do want to go ahead and watch the recap, you're welcome to do so. Sweet, guys. That is all that I have for you today. I hope this was beneficial. Feel free to hop inside of the Discord group if you want to connect more. I do hop into the free voice chat every so often and just work at night. I do a couple deep work sessions throughout the day, and we do like group deep work sessions as well. So if you guys want to have some accountability on getting some work done, feel free to hop inside of the Discord. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys spending your time here with me today. I hope you learned something, and I will catch you guys later. Take it easy.